Buddhism as an education. Venerable Master Chin Kung. The book this is very good for learn in English. Okay. Chapter 1. The curse of our chaotic world. Today, society in Taiwan and elsewhere in the world are rather anomal phenomenon that has not been witnessed before either in the world or the earth. Some Westerners have predicted that the end of the world will occur in 1999 and that Christ will return to earth for a judgment day. Easterners have also predicted impending disasters that are similar to those predictions in the West. The only difference being the time frame, which is some 20 years later. Some of these are ascent processes which we should not place too much uh, important on. However, if we view our environment, our schedule, we will realize that this world is really in danger. Environmental pollution has become a serious problem, and how humankind have finally begun to understand need to protecting our environment. However, the problem of mental or spiritual pollution is many times more serious than that of environment. This is the sort of worldly ill that not many people realize. The Chinese have a saying: education is more essential to establish a nation, train its leader and its people. For centuries, the Chinese have always believed in primacy of education, which is considered in the foundation for peaceful and prosperous society. It provides the solution to myriad of social it and leads the way to changing one of one's suffering into happiness. Education has a strong impact on the nation and its people. Moreover, elementary school is the foundation, the basis building block in an education system. Chapter 2: Buddhism as an Education. Buddhism officially came to China in 67 AD. The emperors had sent special envoys to India to invite Buddhist monks to come to China to teach Buddhism, which in that period was regarded as an educational system and not as religion regards fully about 200 years ago. The practice of Buddhism had taken on a more religious facet Therefore, the purpose of this talk is to correct this misunderstanding by leading us back to original form of Buddhism as touched by Buddha Sakyamuni. The God of the Buddha teaching. The Buddhist is the Buddha. The Buddhism is Buddha. Sakyamuni educational system which is similar that of Confucius for both presented similar viewpoint and method. The goal of Buddhist education is to attain wisdom. To attain wisdom in Sanskrit, the language of ancient India, the Buddhism wisdom we call uh, uh, cool. The goal of Buddhism education is to attain wisdom and secrete the language of ancient India. The Buddhist wisdom was called Anuttara Samaya Sambanu Sambuddhi, meaning the perfect ultimate wisdom. The Buddha taught us that the main objective of our practice or cultivation was to achieve this ultimate wisdom. He further taught us that everyone has potential to realize is that ultimate wisdom as it an intrinsic part of our nature, not something one attains extremely. Moreover, most of us have become confused through general consciousness and therefore are not able to realize this potential. Therefore, if we break through this confusion, we will realize this intrinsic part of our nature. Thus, Buddhism is educational system aimed at regaining our own intrinsic nature. It also teaches absolute quality which streaming from Buddha recognition that all sentient being possess this innate wisdom and nature. Therefore, there is no inherent different among being. Everyone is different now because we have lost our true nature and have become confused. Consider the degree of wisdom exhibited by individual depends on the degree of delusion and has nothing to do with the true nature of individual. The Buddha teaching help us to realize not in innate perfect ultimate wisdom. With wisdom, we can then solve our problem and turn suffering into happiness. Thus, to our lack of wisdom, pursue, review, and behave foolish, and thus suffer the consequences of work by and correct action. Thus, to our lack of wisdom, we pursue, view, and behave foolishly, and thus suffer the consequences of by our incorrect action. If we have wisdom, our thought, viewpoint, and behavior will be correct. How then can we suffer? Then there are no inconveniences to suffer from. Of course, we will be happy. From here, we can see that fearing is caused by delusion, and the source of happiness is our own realization of wisdom. The course of the Buddha's teaching. The Buddha teaching contains three major points: discipline, meditation, and wisdom. Wisdom is the goal, and deep meditation and concentration is the crucial process toward achieving wisdom. The discipline through observing the precept is the method that helps one to achieve deep meditation. Wisdom will then be realized naturally. Buddha entire teaching as conveyed in sutra never really depart from these three points. Buddhism econ, encompasses this entire collection of work by Buddha Sakyamuni and is called the Tripitaka. This can be classified into three categories: sutra, vinaya, precept or rule, and sutra commentary, which emphasize meditation, discipline, and wisdom as respectively. The Buddhist Educational Organization in China, Buddhism education is based on filial piety, as is on Chinese culture period to introduction in Buddhism to China. Filial piety was the pillar of society and was supported by wise men of ancient China. When Buddhist monks from India came to China and started to discuss Buddhism with government officials, it was immediately apparent to everyone that Buddhism shared a numerous similarity with the indigenous Confucian tradition. Consequently, the government embraced them and requested that the monks stay in China permanently. permanently. The first man who came to Chinese Armeston Chairland via received by the Hong Lucy, which is equivalent to our present foreign ministry or state department, or designated as ministry of the government. The chief of Hong Lucy is the equivalent to a foreign minister or secretary of state. However, Hong Longxi could only receive foreign guests periodically in order to allow them to stay permanently. The emperors added the another ministry, Bamazi, to take charge of Buddhism education. Originally, the sea had nothing to do with a temple, but merely denoted a ministry of the imperial court. Now it denoted a temple in a common prairie Chinese. So there were two ministries in charge of education. The Libu management by the Prime Minister was in charge of traditional construction, educational system. This organization served the same function until the early 1900, as the emperors had given enormous support to Bamazi Buddhist education. Rapidly spread through Chinese. In many instances, it had even for accepted the effort to educate people than the traditional education system of Libu. Consequently, there may not have been a contribution or manufacturing school in a very village, but there were a sea everywhere. Again, in the Buddhist sea or temple used to be an education institution and did not perform a religious ceremony at all, unlike what often takes place in contemporary temple nowadays. Another important mission for the original C was the translation. The scale of the translation offers is hard to imagine today. During 17th century, the famous monk Song Sing Song had supervised 600 scholars in translation. Prior to this, a monk named Kamaraja had a translation team of about 400 scholars. Therefore, the sea was a large governmental organization, and unfortunately, it was completely transformed into place to deal with superstition and spirit grown 200 years ago. Its educational characteristics totally disappears, which was truly regretful. The first current type of Buddhism. Today, there are four types of Buddhism being practiced. First, there is the religious Buddhism, which can be witnessed in temples throughout Taiwan. However, this does not represent the real Buddhism. The second, there is the academic Buddhism being taught in many universities today, where we see Buddhism being treated purely as philosophy and academic pursuit, especially in Japan. This is not exactly Buddha education either. Third, and the most unfortunate um, of all is the total degeneration of Buddhism into a cult. This third type of Buddhism is much more damaging to the public than the first two types. Finally, there is the traditional Buddhism, the teaching of Buddha Sakyamuni in its true essence, which is very rare in our day and age. Okay, finish chapter 2. Okay, chapter 2.